Phones off, boys.
Tim, you alright? Morning.
Can I just reaffirm with one or two new faces today that we don't do anything social media until the end of when Chris has done.
Is that a word, media-y?
It is, yeah. It is
All
now.
right. It is now.
Yeah, so as soon as Chris has done, we're happy to go out on social media. If you wish, boys, I'll do a little bit we'll stay here, but we'll do a little bit for Mondays, for Saturdays as well, if you want to do that. We'll embargo a bit for Saturdays at the end. Wait for the microphone and then we'll crack on. Let me sit down first.
Chris,
Morning, Tim.
a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Is this the perfect game to focus minds?
Playing the European champions at home is always going to be one of those fixtures where, when we got back into the Premier League, we'd be looking at, and it's. I think what we've got to talk about is the occasion. I want my team to be competitive as always. We have been so far this season, but I think this is a sort of, for me, a reward for the club and the supporters in the way that they've followed their team through thick and thin. The challenge for us is obviously to compete on Saturday, and the longer term challenge is for this to be a regular fixture. For in talking about a quick turnaround, I don't really want to talk too much about what happened last night, obviously, because of the manner and the standard of performance, and as I said afterwards, the amount of changes that we made, and quite rightly so. Some of them were better than us on the night. Their 8 changes were better than our 11. But quickly, as I said, focusing, moving on to the visit of the best team in Europe at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane.
The European champions, is that a challenge that gives you sleepless nights? How to stop them, or is it something that you're relishing as an individual and as a group?
Yeah, my coaching staff are. We have to go to try and find a way to cause them problems. We want to make it as uncomfortable of them as possible. Of course, everybody will have it down as an away win because of the history and the talent that they've got, the performances. Not just this year, but since the manager's taken over. In the league last year, obviously, running Manchester City an unbelievable close for the Premier League and winning the Champions League, which was an enormous achievement. So, from us as a staff, looking at the opposition, but we've got to make sure that we look at small ways that we can hurt them, and that's what we're going to try to do, and be competitive in our approach. And and I don't think people want to look at. I don't want to look at this game and look at it, with our players starry-eyed. And I said it before, speaking to their players before, and can I swap shirts and any chance of signing this? We're there in this game on a level playing field in terms of a Premier League fixture. Of course, there's enormous gaps between both clubs at the moment, and one we're trying to make that gap a little bit closer. And my players, as I've said before, don't get the results that they've achieved over the last 3 years without wanting to win, and looking at the next game as a big challenge, regardless of the opposition. So I think if you ask all our players before the game, they want to get stuck into the opposition, and they want to put individual performances on, and we definitely, as a staff and a group of players, want to make this game as competitive as possible. I don't want it to Liverpool just to come into our backyard on Saturday afternoon and go, well, thanks very much, that's an easier 3 points as we picked up all season. If they do get the win that everybody expects them to be, it's a little bit of a mentality over our dead bodies, and we're going to put up as much resistance as possible and try and cause them a few problems going the other way.
You won the LMA Manager of the Year. Jurgen Klopp this week won the FIFA's Best Men's Coach on Monday. What do you admire about him as a manager, and is he someone, even as a Premier League manager yourself, that you look up to?
Yeah, 100%. You know, there's all sorts of different aspects regarding, successful managers. I love his connection with the players. There's a genuine affection between him and his players, and vice versa. Even players that are really not involved heavily. The connection with the support is there to be seen. You know, Liverpool supporters are possibly the most knowledgeable supporters in the country, in terms of, the players that they've seen, the fantastic teams that they've supported, and from a tactical and technical point of view, the way they play, the technique that they have in their players, the way they move the ball around the pitch, and the way they get it back as well. So both aspects of the game. I love his personality, and as I said, the connection between players and manager and staff is huge, and that, I think, goes into the fan base as well. So it's a really connected football club, that which is going to go from strength to strength, in my opinion.
Do you see similarities? Because you've got a strong connection with your players and the fans as well.
I think all managers, will manage in their own way. I've got a great connection with our supporters, and I think the players play for the football club, and that connection between myself and the staff and the players is inclusive. It's a together group, and as I said, relatively speaking, our success that we've had, we don't get that against the odds, as everybody knows, in terms of where we've come from, in terms of the financial situation, where we've been underdogs in the Championship for 2 years, and to get out of that division against some really powerful teams in the Championship, is one that has to be done if you're all together on and off the pitch as a football club. Supporters as well, recognising what performances that the players give, and vice versa. So it gives you a great opportunity of being successful, whatever level you're competing at, and I think everybody needs that. And Liverpool have certainly got that, and will continue doing that under the brilliant leadership of the manager.
Do you feel that Liverpool, Chris, have a platform now to be as successful for a good few years now? They're not really an old squad either.
No, the recruit, the players the young players that they had in the team on Wednesday night, you see coming through, but they've got to be good enough as well to break in. There's a definite, I think the assistant manager touched on it in the week, there's a definite pathway for young players which they've got, still recruiting all over the world as well. So of course I think that's every manager's job. They have to keep turning over the squad and keep improving and keep lifting and raising the bar, and Liverpool will certainly be doing that. It's not for me to tell them what to do. They'll be definitely doing that in the coming years.
How important is it that this group of players aren't, you mentioned about autograph hunting and shirt grabbing and stuff, they're not really a starry-eyed bunch, are they? No,
they won't. They're not, and they won't be. As you said, the competitive aspect of being a professional footballer, and the competitive attitude of the staff is that one we want to go toe to toe with them. Of course, we're going to have an unbelievably good day. We're going to have to defend very, very well. The organisation of the structure of the team defensively has got to be spot on. We can't afford to make any mistakes, and I think everybody recognises when you get an opportunity with the ball, whether it's whatever part of the field it is, we've got to show quality, and we've got to take opportunities if there is one that comes our way to get a result. It's been being realistic, because watching what they're about and who they've played, and the results that they've gained, not just this season but over, as I said, the last 2 or 3 years under the manager.
Do you take any kind of inspiration, even though it's different circumstances and naturally different clubs, the fact that Liverpool and Man City are by far and away the dominant teams right now in the Premier League? Well, Norwich beat Man City. Do you take some inspiration from that?
Well, I think there's always a one-off result in any division at any period of football's history. You can look back right the way through. So whatever inspiration anybody can take, of course, the game isn't decided before the kick-off, and anything can happen either way. But I think we're just concentrating, as I said, on our shape and our discipline, and going attacking when we can do. And said we're going to be on the back foot. There's going to be large periods of the game where we're going to have to defend and keep that shape that we've kept fantastically well so far this season in the Premier League. But said we want to make it a game as well, and I think you recognise that from how we are as a group of staff and players.
Tim mentioned about similarities. You and Klopp are also noted for tactical innovations, if you like, overlapping centre halves versus Gegen pressing. Books have been written about that. How much satisfaction do you take from that recognition for your group of players?
Well, it's just the way we've played, and I think what we've tried to do here is try to evolve it and move it forward and keep improving, which we have to, and keep, I said at the start of the season, small changes and tweaks instead of wholesale radical wrecking ball to the system that we've employed over the last 2 or 3 years. You always improve it and try to improve it tactically, little tweaks. I think obviously the big improvement is the quality of players that you bring into that system that we feel can be successful in this division as much as it was in the last division, with the tweaks and the little changes that we try to put into it. But I think it always is the quality of players. You see the quality that Liverpool have brought in over the last 2 or 3 years, and that's what, in our own way, that we're trying to do. We're trying to raise the bar in terms of the quality that we can attract and bring to Bramall Lane, still with the main drivers that we have from an attitude point of view, and a technical and tactical point of view.
Everybody all right, injury-wise?
Well, it should be all right from last night because nobody made a tackle. I love that one. I love that one. It's my old favourite. We didn't make contact with the game, so I think everybody's absolutely fine. Yeah, apart from David McGoldrick. He's very, very doubtful for the weekend. But yeah, as I said, it's European champions at home at 12:30 at Bramall Lane. It's brilliant for the football club, and brilliant for the supporters. We'll need the supporters more than ever. I said that last week. A small minority of our supporters to get complacent in terms of the division that we're in, and I'm sure it will hit home on Saturday afternoon who we're playing, and I'm 100% certain that the punters will get and give us as huge a lift that we will need, and I think deserve as well on Saturday afternoon, because this has got to be a difficult place for the opposition, any opposition, to come and be settled and enjoy the afternoon within the boundaries of obviously what is set.
It must be an interesting thing for you to be a part of, because being of this city with your friends and family, they will all think of this as a great occasion, because it hasn't happened very often. But there's the nuts and bolts of a football match right at the heart of it.
Oh yeah, we've got to make sure that we deal with that, players and the people that affect or try to affect the result of the football match, and we will do. They're professional enough, and we all are, and the professional desire and spirit that we have amongst us, as I've always said, even though some results and some performances you don't really like and accept, for players to get to this point of a professional career, they want to win, and the same I think, I'm sure applies through coaches and managers as well. They want to win. They have that ultimate desire to do whatever it needs to be done to be successful and to win, to get to this stage of their careers and at the level that we're all working at.
Hi Chris, just about Liverpool again. They've obviously got quality all over the pitch, but how daunting a prospect is it, particularly for the the back three facing Liverpool's front three?
It might not turn into a back three. It might turn into a back 10 or a back 11. Listen, they've caused better sides than us untold problems in terms of where they move the ball around the pitch and the way they attack at pace and with quality. So as I said, hopefully they don't show as much quality as they have done over the last 2 or 3 years that have gotten the results and gotten the success. And you hope, as I said, that they have an off day and we get amongst them, make it uncomfortable for them, and we try and drive the game forward when we have the opportunity to. But of course, you know, the front three is much feated, and in terms of the quality that they've got, the mobility that they possess, the way they interchange and whatever. So, of course, you know, we're going to have an unbelievably great day to keep the ball out of the back of our net. The goalkeeper's going to have to make saves, we understand that. But them 5, or whatever it takes to keep the ball out of the net, will do that with a desire that they've shown for a long time. As we talked about already this season, individual mistakes are the reason that we conceded goals. That was pleasing last Saturday that we cut out those individual mistakes, and I feel we've got the best young goalkeeper in the country, and he will rise to the occasion, I'm sure. He, as much as all my other players, will relish this opportunity of going toe to toe on a level playing field with Liverpool on Saturday. He's going to have to make some big saves, and I'm sure he will do at the time.
Just get you quickly on that. The best young goalkeeper in the country will get a lovely reception at the other end as well, won't he? So that'll be
I'm sure knowing Dean, there might be a reaction of someone coming back down their way as well. But now that's part and parcel of his character. As long as he doesn't overstep the mark and he concentrates, like I said, on keeping the ball out of the back of the net. He's an outstanding goalkeeper. Love him as a personality. He's got something different. He's got something about him. He certainly enjoys the big occasions, and he knows this year. Not just this match, but all through the season, there's going to be some big moments in games, and he's got to produce and come up with the goods. Not only for us to gain points and be successful in what we're trying to do, but for his individual career as well. And I'm sure, as I said, he's really looking forward to the occasion just as much as everybody else is.
I was just looking at the results since that Liverpool-Man City game, which sort of tipped the balance, and they've averaged over 2 points per game or well over 2 points per game since then. You've averaged just a shade under it, which is still pretty impressive. But in pressure situations, that speaks volumes about both clubs, but also the team here, doesn't it? To be able to return a figure of that.
Yeah, I think it's not the most balanced way you can look at it, James. Then playing at the top end of the Premier League,
it's all relative.
But as I said, coming onto it, yeah. Sorry to chop you down, but coming back to it, yeah, we have, you know, pressure situations. We have produced, and that's what I was delighted with the back end of last year, when there was a lot of noise and nonsense about other clubs and other players talking and shouting and bawling about they think they've done that and they think they're going to do this, and our boys and our football club got their head down and did the business, and obviously we're the ones that find ourselves playing the European champions at 12:30 on Saturday afternoon. So, you know, the group are not arrogant. They have to work extremely hard. They've had to work extremely hard to get where they are, and they want that to continue. And I think the biggest thing that we talk about is we want this to be a regular fixture for our supporters, our football club, and our players. And we are going to have to produce performances under pressure situations, and they're capable of doing that, of course, as you said. And they've got to show that in future games. But I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. It should be, as I said, and maybe. You know, this is maybe a game where we look as an occasion as well as a bigger picture, and why not? And why not? Because of, you know, that ground on Saturday afternoon is going to be absolutely, you know, bursting, loud and proud and noisy, and you'll look around and I think you'll look around at the facilities as well. Bramall Lane, you know, it's an historic old ground that is really, you know, in a modern way looks fantastic and feels fantastic to play in. And I think we should be proud of what we've done. We should be proud that we're entertaining the European champions. And then when the whistle goes, we're off and running. And can we do enough to, as I said, give them problems, make it uncomfortable for them, and you know, see if we can get something from the game.
Does the number of Scousers in the squad here as well make any sort of difference, perhaps to the edge that they'll bring into it? My family history is that my dad's from Liverpool, and they're all big Liverpool fans, and it's incredible the amount of phone calls I've had over the last 10 days, and I should imagine that'll be the same for the likes of Lunny and Jack O'Connell. But they, as I said, they've got to concentrate on the game. I thought they did that outstandingly well against Everton last week, and they're going to do the same, or try to do the same again. But demand as always. Mind you, it's always been a demand for me on tickets, whether my dad's from Liverpool or I know half of Sheffield. So demand for them as well is huge. But you know, they understand that they've got to deal with the game first and foremost, and they're the type of characters, you know, that you know, when the going gets tough, that they stand up and be counted, and I'm sure they will, as all my team will. Whereabouts in Liverpool?
Oh, well, they used to say they lived in West Derby, but it wasn't really. It was Norris Green. So anybody who knows a little bit about Liverpool will know it's quite a working class area of the city. So yeah, I spent quite a few years going up to my nan's up there, and even at times the odd school holiday had the odd visit to Anfield with a couple of my uncles.
Who were you watching there then?
What, scouting?
No, really, yeah.
No, that was mid 70s, 76, 77. So, you know, obviously a very successful period for that football club at the time.
Is it Beck's in the fridge as well then now?
Is it Beck's?
Saturday.
No, I'm looking forward to, as I said, you know, looking forward to meeting Jurgen and his staff afterwards, and you know, it's our door will always be open, and I'm sure speaking to a couple of people that he'll step in and have a chat with us, and that'd be good. But as I said, you know, from a football club point of view, you know, toe to toe, we're here, we deserve to be here, and we're going to give it as our best shot and as good as go as we possibly can, and leave everything out on the pitch. We've done that for a long time, and there's no reason for me to think it'll be any different on Saturday afternoon.
Does anybody want any more before we embargo some stuff for Saturdays? No? We'll go to Saturday then. Come on, Mike.